Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Kill the Small Talk, and I'm your host, Alex Crone. On this podcast, I bring in guests from all walks of the entertainment industry, and we get down to the nuts and bolts. On this episode, I'm talking to my good friend, Kevin Heisinger. He's a comedian, filmmaker, and writer. Here's the interview. Enjoy.
Good to see you. Great
Good to see you, man.
Always love. I would love to see you in person someday. It's been forever.
Well, maybe today.
Maybe. I don't know the future, but anyways, go on. Start the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the pod.
Okay, start. What's the intro?
I
was actually listening to it. Yeah, it was you. Are you sponsored? I heard a little ad on your last episode.
We sure are. We are sponsored.
Oh wow. I did mine for 3 years and I can never get sponsored. You have 3 episodes and you're already sponsored. That's wow.
I don't know, man. Robbie, my producer, knows his
That's
stuff.
The thing. I should have probably gotten a partner. I should have probably met up with someone who knew what they were doing. That's probably
Hit
what
up
I
Robbie,
did
dude. He's got an awesome recording studio.
It was harder. My podcast was during COVID and people were like, they had a lot more free time. And the people who loved doing the podcast started getting jobs and they kept flaking. So that was annoying.
Yeah.
Because I tried to get comedians.
Right. And what was your podcast about?
The Midnight Movie Podcast. We would just watch a bad movie and review it. And it was fun. It did a little over 100 episodes. That was a good time.
Over 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a good time. Just, I kept trying to get sponsored. That never happened. And other things that we were just talking about. But I won't dive in. But it just didn't lead to much. And it was a lot of time just to, spend your whole day off watching a movie and reviewing it. It's just, and I'm working a lot more now. So
what was one of your favorite bad movies that you guys reviewed?
So many. Oh my god! Because I discovered so many, which I forced you to watch. Cool as Ice. That was the Vanilla Ice movie. That was a really good time.
Terrible.
It was great. I don't know what you're talking about. I tried to I try to make it fun. I do. The best bad movies of all time, not the worst, because the worst just make your head hurt. But the best, you have a good time and you invite people over.
I definitely had a good time. What I love about you is every year for your birthday, we watch a bad movie, and there's a
lot of people as they get older. As they get older, they stop having birthday parties and just live their miserable lives. Because they get sad about it. I'm actually the opposite. Once I hit my mid to late 20s, I thought, okay, what's something we could do that's actually fun? Like, what if I force these people to watch the best, worst movie ever? And so every year, and I actually had to move it to my sister's backyard because it's getting so popular. And she accommodated. Thank you so much to Melanie, and hopefully listeners out there, you'll be here this year at the birthday party.
I definitely will be. That was the Vanilla Ice one. Was that the one at her in her backyard when we all dressed up for Halloween? And
we did. It was also a Halloween party.
I won. What did I win? Best?
You won scariest, I think. Wait, no.
Scariest.
You just won. No, you won
Smelliest?
Grossest.
Grossest.
You won grossest, but in my heart, I mean, it was kind of rigged, just like everything is in LA. But I told you, if you dress full Beetlejuice, you will win first prize. And we gave you a bottle of wine, and you didn't even drink it because you don't really drink. So that was pretty fun.
No, I did drink it.
Right, you brought it over to us, though, because you hadn't even opened it. So you had probably 1 glass, maybe 2. Because 2 glasses of wine, you'll have to stay at someone's house because you're such a lightweight. You have to.
I am a lightweight.
You're like I cannot drive. I can't go anywhere.
I cannot keep up with you.
I can't.
You and Mason.
Please tuck me in, guys. I'm so scared right now. I forgot how to do everything. I need you to brush my teeth for me.
Yeah. I cannot keep up with you and Mason. You guys are
hardcore alcoholics. Thank you for bringing that up.
I said drinking champs. You said hardcore alcoholic.
Well, that's what it implies. So
I was trying to lighten up the mood.
No, you ruined the mood, and we have to come back from that now because of you, because you made it weird. Anyways, let's start the podcast, please.
Dude, okay. One of the things that caught my attention about you was when we were first doing stand up together, how sort of deadpan you are.
If you can tell by delivery. I'm very monotone, a lot of low energy. It was hard for me to host my own show because I just have such low energy.
But
almost,
it worked.
Yeah, no, people like it. Yeah, I tried to do like the one-liner thing. It's hard to keep that going. You can only have so many one-liners, but it works. It works.
Yeah.
So that's good fun.
So let's talk about your intro to stand-up. So you're from Sacramento.
Right. I am technically from Sacramento. a small town next to Sacramento. But
Auburn,
Sacramento
right?
was very good, and it's not a very nice place. Sacramento's not much nicer, but I did get my start doing stand up there, which was interesting, and it kind of gave me high expectations for what comedy was, because there was this one open mic. Well, there's technically 2 a week at the Comedy Spot, and these people would go, and they don't not really big into comedy, and if you do okay, they'll laugh really hard, and you think, well, I'm hilarious, and it gave me kind of false hope. And then I moved to LA, and then I would test these jokes out, and people wouldn't laugh at all, and I thought, wow,
you had me laughing, dude. I was busting up. I was busting up because we met at the theater arts conservatory I was going to. One of the teachers was also a stand-up comic, and he knew Vargas, who was producing shows at the Comedy Store with Under D's Nuts. That was a show.
I thought we weren't going to name these people, but yes, go. Yeah, I met such a nice guy, and I tried to get booked at the Comedy Store, and so your friend Sally introduced me to him, and I was hoping to get booked at the Comedy Store, but at first you have to get a gig at that Theater of Art stage, and I basically only performed there, and I only brought my sister because someone said they'd be there, but they had to work at their museum that night.
I did,
along with a couple other people that I just met. It was hard because I just moved to LA. I literally moved December 2019, so it was a great timing. It was.
So that was the same year I met you.
Happened.
You had just moved, and that was wow.
I literally just moved, and a couple weeks later, I went to that show and met you.
And that was that. So that was your first time you met Sally as well, Sally Mullins.
I had met her before at like an open mic, and I was networking with her, and I noticed that she did the D's Nuts show at the Comedy Store, and I was trying to get booked at that, and I was trying to get introduced to Vargas, which I did, but I ended up just doing the Theater of Art stage, and I only brought my sister because she lived in LA. Only brought one person. He took note of that, and I never did a show with him again. He never got back
but you eventually did and would perform at the Comedy Store.
Years later, with a couple people with D Cups Comedy with Joanne. Yeah,
Joanne,
I went to see my friend perform. He introduced me to the booker, and a few weeks later, I did make my Comedy Store debut, and never went back because just one and done. I'd have to bring 10 people for a Thursday night show at midnight. For someone who did our show.
For those that don't know, those are what we call bringer shows. They do it in music too.
Yeah.
Like I had buddies who were like in bands who'd be like, dude, we're playing at the Whiskey, but it's like, but you gotta bring 50 people. You're paying to be there. They're not paying you. You're paying them. So that was like the shitty part about it. And
I know people that do stuff like that. I have a friend who he does all of his one specific booker, and she books the Belly Room every other Thursday, I think, for this specific show, and he'll bring 10 people every week. And
every week?
Well, every other week, maybe even once a month. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like a bit much. He even bought my tickets. Yeah, it's too much. It's really, honestly, a ripoff. I'm not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've had comics be like, "Dude, come to my show. Like, I'll buy your tickets.
Buy your tickets, and you just have to show up. But you have to show up. That's the crazy part. You can't just buy the tickets. That's the wild part, and that's the hard part about comedy, which is kind of why I've just been keeping it low key right now. It's just, it's hard. It's stressful when you have a bringer show coming up, and you gotta. And I hate bothering people. I'm such a people pleaser. It's like, hey, are you still coming to my show this Friday? And it's too much. And I'm really not, I don't have a lot. You're kind of my only friend in LA, so it's hard. And you've already come to so many of my bringers. Yes.
I'm not your only friend.
I have you and I have Mason. And everyone else at this rate is an acquaintance to me. and you can listen to this podcast and you go on record. All right. So if you're listening, you're just an acquaintance to me.
Yeah. And then you started the after school special mic and you had it running for.
I did that. Yeah. I did that for about a year. That was fun.
Oh, was it only a year? I thought it was like, yeah.
It was, yeah. It was.
What was that like?
It was stressful. I won't say where we did it. Let's just say, but I will say the owner is not a nice lady, and it was very hard to work with her. But it's too bad because it was a really good location, and a lot of people
it was
parking.
Popular.
Parking is hard to come by in LA, and there's lots of parking here in Atwater.
Lots of parking there, yeah.
And it was just close by and everything, and we were kind of. But it was a lot to deal with. She would get really mad if we went over 2 hours, and then she would get mad if people only bought one thing.
Didn't buy enough drinks.
Yeah, that was the big. So it's just,
which
done.
Yeah, and looking back, I understand where she was coming from. As a business owner, she needs to make money, and if people are just there to just watch the show and not buy anything, you know what I mean? It's you shouldn't be doing that in general. Just going to solicit places, but then from your guys' end, you can only encourage so much.
Yeah, and we had the one item minimum, and the thing is that it's not cool is that people were buying things. My co-host would buy fries and multiple beers every week, and she got cocky and told us to go away. I'm the Howard's. Hold on. Sorry, so unprofessional. But yeah. So I did that. It was I was finally getting notoriety in the comedy scene, so that was cool, and a lot of people were following me, and that was nice. But then no, I'm just kind of not performing as much. But
and then you were telling me I brought you back, right? With Creatures and Hobbits.
Right. Yeah, that was the last show I'll ever do.
With me or in general?
In general. No, actually I have a show next week, I think. It's hard.
Don't you have one tonight?
Yeah, I have the one in Pasadena. So I'm still performing sometimes. It's hard. Yeah. The mic was nice because it would push myself to perform once a week and try new stuff out. And that's just a problem I've been having is that if I don't have to, I don't really go to mics and I don't really care. Yeah. So that was just something I'm struggling with, especially because I work so much and it's really don't have the time. And if you go all the way to West Hollywood to do a mic and barely anyone's there, just was this worth it?
Yeah. Yeah. There were so many of those shows that I was. And that's kind of what made me stop in general, because I knew comedians who were doing it 4 or 5 nights a week.
Oh yeah,
I was like, that's.
I mean, look at Ian Russo. He was doing 10 mics a day, and he's not doing well at all. He's doing horribly.
Are we allowed to talk about it?
This is your podcast. Why are you asking me? Are we allowed to talk about certain people in the LA comedy scene who assault women?
Give
them concussions. No. He showed up to our mic. He shows up to every mic, and he is awful.
Okay, well, for those that don't know, Ian Russo is a comic in LA and assaulted another comedian. He confronted her and
for making a documentary that featured him, which no one would ever feature him in anything. It wasn't for her. And for him to get mad about it and give poor Teresa a concussion, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It's come on, dude. It's honestly unfortunate, but I'm so glad he's just banned everywhere because we all hated seeing him.
We all hated seeing him anyways because he'd make you feel uncomfortable. He was a jerk.
Yeah, he was the worst. The first time I ever met this guy, I just moved to LA and it was after COVID. So all the mics were outdoors and it was at a cafe. He was up there doing his shtick and we were all just kind of minding our own business. And then he just screamed at us, "You guys don't think this is funny?" And then we all just went, "Whoa, dude." I mean, no, but chill. What are you, you're going to scream at us and threaten us? And that would happen a lot. This dude has a very short fuse and he's broken a lot of microphones across LA and he will get banned everywhere. It's not only is he horribly unfunny, but he will threaten you. And I think he followed some girl to her car one night. Some host.
He talks about it. He talks about it in his stand-up.
Well, that was that's when he approached the girl with the bag of his hair. He follows a lot of women. He's a psycho stalker, and I'm just glad he never asked me to be on his podcast. So that's good, because that was a big and shout out, guys, if you were on Ian Russo's podcast, it's hard for me to really trust you, and because I'm scrolling that list, and a lot of weirdos did it, and
oh no, people we know.
Oh yeah, a lot of people who did our mic too. I mean, once in a while, but just like, come on, are you really that desperate to talk about yourself, guys, that you did this podcast? But anyway,
yeah.
So interesting tangent. Anyway, we can.
Oh well, no. Okay, so one time I was going out with this chick, and we were going out. She was like, "Oh yeah, there's this like Irish pub near my place over in, I think it was Sherman Oaks." I was like, "Sure, yeah, that sounds fun." So we were hanging out at her place. We walked, the bar was like super close. It was like a block away. We walked over, and there was a stage, and I was like, I remember thinking, I was like, "Oh, this would be like a good spot for like an open mic." And I was even like thinking about telling you about it. I was like, "Oh, you should bring after school here. Like, this would be a good spot." And it's like not crazy far. And then sure enough, I start to see people that I was like recognizing in the comedy scene. I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" And sure enough, I see Ian Russo walk in with the mics, and I was like, "Oh no!" She's like, "What?" Like, I was like, "Let's go." Like this guy. She's like, "No." Like, I kind of want to stay, and I was like, "All right, trust me, you will not be laughing, and you'll feel very uncomfortable." She's like, "I'll be fine." So we're like not even a minute into his like set, she's like, "Yeah, let's get the hell out of here." I told you.
So, and I did joke about that, because on one hand, it could really be a date ender, but it actually worked in your favor, because his comedy is so horrible that you actually ended up going back to her place. So, that's the only thing I will thank Ian for.
He helped me get laid.
There we go. But anyway, let's not give him too much time or energy. Oh god, he's the worst. But anyways.
Anyway, yeah, dude. Like, I know we were talking about pretty recently about what it takes to like produce a show. I mean, because you were producing it at a different level. I was doing my show once a month, but it was like booked comics. Like, I would book these comics in advance. It was never an open mic. You guys were doing it once a week, and anyone could show up, which is like kind of why I didn't want to go that route, because I was like, anyone could show up. At least with my show, like, I got to choose like who I wanted to like have on, so like that to me, I was like, that took a little courage.
Well, yeah, open mic versus a book show, and that's the difference. But the hard part is like, you have a book show, and it's hard to get people out, especially when you have a venue and you sell tickets, and if you don't sell any tickets, the show's canceled. But if you just haven't, it's like the upside is that when you do the open mic and you put yourself on the comedy listings, you'll pretty much have a packed house. But the downside is they're all comedians, and they're all there to perform, and you have to sit there and listen to them work stuff out. And so that was the downside. On one hand, it's a lot less effort to just put yourself on a comedy listing and then packed house. But also, they're all going to perform, and they don't always do well. And when they don't do well, it just kind of, it's a buzzkill. It's good.
When they don't do well, but then they fall back out of it and they make that the joke, I applaud them. But when they don't do well and then they blame the audience and then make it weird, it's like, dude, like, come on.
Yeah, just
be professional.
Just take the L. Yeah, don't be like Ian Russo. Just be like, "Hey, well, you guys didn't like that. I'll see you later."
It's the best you didn't think my joke was funny, huh? Well, see you later.
Yeah, exactly. Just tip your fedora and just live your life. But yeah.
And then the other part was, I personally thought that if I produce this show, it's also going to help me network with other comics, which it did. And then this could possibly lead me on to like getting booked at like, other shows, which
and then
part of that was true. I did get booked on other people's shows, but then there were the comics that would be like, they'd constantly reach out to me like, yo, can I be on your show? Yo, can I be on your show? Let me be on your show. Like often I'm like, dude, like I have this book months in advance. And then I'd see that they would produce a show and then never like,
always
have me on. So
because when I first started doing it, it was kind of a booked show followed by an open mic, which was getting frustrating. It was just a lot of effort because you'd have to DM people, see if they want to come and do the show, and they wouldn't always show up, and then it'd be a super quiet night. But yeah, there's this one guy we booked a few times, and he'd always ask me, "Can you pre-sign me up?" Sure. And then he has the nerve to DM me a week or two later, and be like, "Come to my one-man show this weekend." And I said, "Oh yeah, sorry, with the grandparents." He goes, "Ditch them." I was like, "Well, first he goes, bring them." And I went, "Well, they're in Newport Beach, and your show's in West Hollywood. We're not going to be there." And then he goes, "Ditch them." And then he was getting aggressive at it. I went, "Dude, that's kind of shitty." And also, you book a show and don't book me. And I've also pre-signed you up and even have you as a book spot multiple times.
Yeah.
And for you to talk to me that way is pretty shitty. It's not very nice. So
yeah.
And I've had a lot of experiences like that. And literally, because we had the book show, we had the open mic, and even because I heard that when I first started doing comedy, I asked for advice, and they said, start your own mic and you'll meet people. And the only show that I really got from doing my own mic for a year was the Santa Barbara show, which was outside, and it was freezing.
It
was not paid, and the audience, there was an audience, but it was not a good audience. There was not they weren't present, but they were there. It was
But we still made it a fun time, though. We still had a great time.
It was a good trip, really good with all of us, making the road trip, hanging out.
Yeah, made it a day thing. We went got drinks.
I had actually never been to Santa Barbara, so that was cool to check it out.
That was your first time?
Yeah, and we went to the brewery and we were hanging out, but
went to the Mexican restaurant that was really good.
Yeah, but then the show started.
But then the show started.
Well, I was just pissed because because this was in I think November or something, so it was cold, and the booker didn't tell us until the morning of by the way, all right, so the show's outdoors, so bundle up. Just, are you kidding me? All right.
you had you known that previously, you wouldn't have done it?
I would have dropped out, because Mason and I don't do. Luckily, there was a lot of heaters. Everything worked out, but knowing that ahead of time would have been ideal.
It would have been helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. He just said it was not paid, but yeah. But at least you followed through. But that's it.
Yeah. So you grew up in Sacramento. You were doing stand up a little bit, and then did you go to school for filmmaking?
Kind of. I went to a community college and I took a few classes, but then I dropped out because we had a school shooting, and that was a little awkward.
Wow.
Awkward. Gang related. Sacramento's not a nice place if you didn't know. We had a death.
Oh my God.
So I stopped going. It was a little awkward after that.
Yeah.
And then, but what's funny that I totally forgot about until recently is that the day that we had a shooting is I think the day that I found that there was a comedy club in the area, and because I was walking around Midtown, like, oh shit, I should do an open mic sometime. So that was, I dropped out of community college to do comedy. That was fun. But I also started bartending and actually made money because you really don't make much doing comedy.
What were some shitty jobs that you've had when you moved out to LA?
Jobs. Oh my God. The first job that I ever had when I moved to LA, I was a weed delivery driver because I saw the word weed. That
sounds fun.
Exactly. And I saw the word weed and I thought, fun. I used to smoke that. I have before. Don't tell anybody. Edit this part out. But then delivery driver, I've never done that before. And they were so horrible. Oh my God. They gave it. First off, the company was so ghetto, and these little kids acting like they're tough little punks. And they gave you this giant case, and you had to roll it to your rental car. And and they give you this horrible little totally dated iPhone, and it goes, you have a delivery, and you'll just be driving around. Not only that, but the worst part is you had to drive to wherever the deliveries were, which were primarily East LA. Not a nice area to the listeners at home. And they just say, oh, so you have a delivery, so pull over and get in your back seat, go through this giant cooler full of so many, like hundreds of assortments of weed products that I don't know what they look like. And you have to find it, put it in a bag, and then type in the address and then meet them outside. And I think the worst part was the ghetto area. The second worst part is that you delivered to all these kids. It was cash only, and none of them tipped me. But they had the exact cash for the weed product. And people were complaining. The management was calling me saying, your deliveries are taking too long. I said, it's my first day. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I said, and I told them, I don't know what we pride ourselves in 30 minutes or less. And I said, well, I don't know where any of these products are. He goes, well, usually our drivers know. And I said, well, I'm never going to find out.
Yeah.
And so I dropped my shift on the app for the following weeks. And I just said, I quit with a heart emoji. And I took
and you never looked back.
Oh God, they were so awful. I am never. But yes.
and then you were working at. I remember you told me you were working at that hookah.
I won't say anything bad about Armenian people. I know it's a touchy subject for you, but I worked at an Armenian hookah lounge, and I quickly learned that a lot of these rich Armenians are not nice people, and they did not care that there was a global pandemic going on, and they just were freaking. They didn't care that there was maybe 4 of us working there at the time, and would scream at us for not giving them enough charcoals or enough hookah on time. So that was fun. That was a good time. To be completely,
you guys required to wear masks?
No, it was outdoor. It was just loosey goosey. That's the only thing.
Wild West.
The only thing Armenians and I had in common was we thought COVID was really stupid, and so were the protocols. And the song Rasputin was slaps, as the kids say. Other than that, we really just politics and everything, and just did not get along. Did not align. They were not nice to me. They did not tip me the correct amount at the end of the night. So that's fun. But yeah. And it was weird. And the weirdest part to me was that I just feel like a lot of it was run by the mafia, Armenian mob, because we had this guy and he was a regular, and we had to treat this guy who was so rude to all of us and would cuss us out, and we had to treat him like a prince. We had to give him his hookah, and we just had to basically kiss his ass. The reason we had to treat him this way is because he owns a gun shop, and he sold guns to the owner and multiple people who worked there. That's not shady, right? That's weird.
Not shady at
all.
No.
Yeah, what do you use the guns for? Nothing? Cool. Good to know. But so that was wild. That added to a lot of stress in my life during COVID. But at the end of the day, you know what? It was my first official job. I worked there for 6 months, got my foot in the door, and then I was able to get better jobs after that. So. And
then is that when you got hired at Universal Studios?
I don't work there. What are you talking about? I work at a theme park. Yes. That's cool. I should have put that on. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not going to talk any shit. Yes, I work at a theme park and I bartend. That's fun.
And you've been there 3 years now?
4. I just got employee of the month. So that's cool.
My gosh. Did you really?
Yeah. I posted about it and you liked it. How dare you?
I did. I do remember that.
You need to remember all of my posts.
What'd you get?
Oh, I got 2 tickets to AMC. So, yeah. And I went and saw a movie with my girlfriend. Thank you very much.
What'd you guys see?
We saw Bring Her Back. It was weird. The guys that made Talk to Me. I like Talk to Me more. Bring Her Back was it was pretty good.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen those.
But I probably would have used it for something else.
I saw Together the other night. Have you seen it yet?
Right. Yeah. We talked about that. I liked it. I hope they didn't plagiarize it. It was very good. It was a nice little metaphor for codependent relationships.
Yeah.
thought Franco was good. Allison Cheese was even better. And it's gross. I recommend it though.
Gross. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't do well with body horror movies.
You were telling me about them. Did you watch The Substance? That was a funny one.
I loved The Substance. I didn't think that
that was pretty gross too, though.
That was pretty gross too. Yeah,
I would say it was probably grosser than. Well, Together was a little more disturbing, I guess.
It was more disturbing. Yeah,
yeah, because The Substance was very silly. The Together kind of made you think like, oh God, what if I did this? It was kind of like putting you in their shoes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it made me feel like. Yeah, what would I do? Yeah, what? Substance was just something different entirely.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, this could never happen. It was just very silly how ridiculous Demi Moore looked by the end. But there were still moments that when I couldn't look at the screen, I went, yeah.
I had to look away from Together.
There were a few parts.
I don't want to give anything away. Yeah, but there was definitely spoilers. I had to look away.
But yeah, go see Together.
Go see Together.
I hope you're also
a huge horror movie fan.
I am. I didn't want to admit it, but I do have a big horror collection. I think it's because when my parents got divorced, my mom just said, "Screw it, you can watch whatever movie you want," and so I just watched every horror movie that existed.
Did you start off with like the old classic Hollywood like horror movies?
Well, what's funny, when I was a kid, actually before they got divorced, when I was still in public school, there was this book and it introduced me to Wolfman, Dracula, and Frankenstein, which were my favorites. So I went to the library and I rented them on VHS and they became my favorites. Like Dracula and Frankenstein were like my favorites as a kid. Yeah. But then once my parents got divorced, and because my dad, it was like Dracula, it was like G technically, so I could watch it. But then once my mom let me watch whatever, I started watching Nightmare on Elm Street. The series was my favorite, and then Friday the 13th and Halloween were kind of my go-tos, and then all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Hellraiser, that was a good one.
Were you into Ghost movies?
Oh yeah, not too recently. I mean, I've always thought ghosts existed. I've had a few paranormal experiences, so I definitely believe in them. They're spooky. They're
right. I mean, it's like I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any higher being, any higher power, but I don't know. I've felt weird. I've felt weird presences before, and like I definitely believe that like Einstein's theory of relativity, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, and if our bodies, if we're balls of energy, and when our bodies physically die, like where does that energy go? And that's kind of like, I was like, well, maybe they do exist. So I've never really had full on paranormal experiences.
I've had a couple. But I've also been to haunted places. But
what are some of yours? What was your
the first time? I used to live in Sacramento, and I lived with my my cousin and his girlfriend, which was already awful enough. But when they weren't around, I think I saw a little girl in my room one time. That was pretty crazy. It was because what's so funny, because she was like my cousin's girlfriend at the time was it was pretty haunted, but it was mostly just like haunted by her awful energy. But there was a ghost in there
that was attracted to her awful energy.
I know. I feel like she brought it out. I blame her. But that was the first time, because there's been a handful of times, and it's like fight or flight. And so I was half asleep. I look up and I had my computer desk, and the chair was facing me. And I looked up, and I swear I thought I saw a girl sitting on it staring at me. And I just went, "Oh my God!" And I just booked it out of my room. And then I stopped halfway. I stopped halfway down the hallway. And then I came back. No one was there. Creepy. And it was one of those things where, I mean, maybe I was psyching myself out, because, you'll say like, oh, you see that, thing of clothes, like a pile of clothes, and you think, oh, it's a person, but.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It casts a shadow.
But there was another time because my mom lives in Carson City, which is one of the oldest places in Nevada, and is near Virginia City, and it's all very, very haunted. And if you ask someone if there's a ghost, they're like, "Oh yeah, we got Jimmy. He lives here. He's a ghost." And that's actually Virginia City is where they started Ghost Adventures. Which, fun fact,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I've been to a lot of those places. I didn't really stay the night or anything. It's kind of a weird vibe over there, but. I went there to Virginia City. I was in Carson City that night at my mom's place. I was sleeping and I heard someone whisper in my ear, "Are you asleep?" And I booked it. I woke up. It woke me up and I booked it again. I always just like, oh God. And I always do the same thing. I ran halfway down the hall and then I came back and I went, "Is someone there?" And nothing. But so that was the first. I saw one, man. and then one
gave me the chills.
Yeah, and then one whispered to me, like I swear to God, it whispered because one of those things where I woke up and booked it because I thought I wasn't alone. So that was one of those things where I would kind of just feel. Freaky. I'm very intuitive. I'm very sensitive to energy, and when you go into a place where it's haunted, like, oh yeah, it's spooky.
Didn't you and your girlfriend Mason stay on the Queen Mary?
We didn't stay on it. We just did
but you did the tour
and got drinks. If you stay the night, you'll probably see something. But I did the haunted tour. We had a big group. In my experience, when you have a big group of people, the ghosts get kind of shy, and they don't really come out.
Yeah, social anxiety.
It's like, oh God, I was murdered. I was murdered here, and there's a bunch of people. I'm gonna
embarrassing.
But so that's been mine. But if you're alone, like I was in those moments, then they come out. You know, they're more like me. They're more personable, one-on-one. You know, it's hard to make friends when you're dead.
Didn't Mason say that she saw like? She asked help from someone, and then it turns out that like people were like, "Oh yeah, there's no one down there. Like, who could you have possibly asked help for?"
I remember she has a picture of a ghost, but I don't know if she asked help from somebody. You might be someone else. You might have your wires crossed, but she has a picture of a ghost, and I know she's definitely seen and felt stuff throughout. We're believers, believers, if you will.
Speaking of which, the three of us, me, you, and Mason, are working on a Ghost Adventures parody.
We are going to try and do a parody of Ghost Adventures. I know that's timely. Someone came out 20 years ago, but we're working on it. Hopefully going to start shooting in November. Also, mostly a parody of found footage, which I've also found to make it. It's really easy to make fun of found footage, you know, and it's like low quality, especially for an indie flick because you're just going to be carrying your phones around and such.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Mockumentary style. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've made a lot of stuff like that back in the day and can't wait to do it again because I love filmmaking. I love editing. And I've moved to LA to do that, but it's been really difficult, you know, because I've heard the horrors of being a production assistant and I've done it. And it's really just kind of a letdown, you know. It's really in the film industry being filled with some not very nice people has also been kind of a letdown.
What happened in those cases where just extremely demanding and like acted like divas or
the sets that I was on, or what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just that, you know, the hours of working a PA are not ideal or for anyone. You'll work 12 to
16 hours.
Yeah, and it's horrible. And it's also super boring. You're just sitting around for half of it. And then you're just like, have to load up a truck and all this stuff. And you have to know people. And even at the end of the day, you know, if it's a short film or an actual feature, and then once that's over and you'll get paid, I don't know, a handful of cash. And then you're out of a job.
And
and you have to find another one, and you just got to keep hustling. And I was an extra in a movie, and everyone was just kind of really rude. And I was a stand-in for a guy who's actually doing pretty well right now, Brandon Sklenar. He was in he was in that Blake Lively movie that got all the controversy. It ends with Buzz, but it was. I mean, he was okay at first, but I immediately knew he was an actor, and he came out of his trailer and he was smoking. And looks at me like, "Who's that?" I immediately went like, "Yep, he's the lead, isn't he?"
I mean, he's right.
Yeah. And
who is that?
And it was just kind of a weird, but he was kind of actually the first inspiration for me to not be an actor. So that was good. That was like it. Because
I'd rather be behind the camera.
Yeah, if any, because it was just giant ego with him. And then when he walked past me to go to the bathroom, he just had this look on his face, just very wide eyed, and just he looked kind of just not happy doing what he was doing. But it's okay. I didn't sign an NDA. I could probably talk about this. I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? Hey, Brandon, you're doing great. Love the work. I know you're listening.
He's killing it.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was a great.
And then but like, so when you started filmmaking these, you were making like found footage types of projects?
I've done it before. I actually used to make I tried doing feature films, but it's so hard. You just got to set up the tripod and actually make it look and sound good. And I mostly did that, but then I realized, everyone thinks it looks shitty and it sounds really bad, and you go, oh damn it! But if you do it found footage, it's kind of an excuse to go, okay, well, it's supposed to be. Yeah, but meanwhile, it's just my laziness or just not knowing, because I've always been really bad with audio. It's horrible. It's hard for me to get good audio, and sometimes lighting and acting and filmmaking and cinematography, and that's all I struggle with. And editing
and
inside joke for the listeners at home.
I can't wait. I can't wait to make ours, dude.
I know. I was reading through it the other day. We sat down with our treatment, if you will. We don't have a full script, and that's the other thing too. It's hard for me to really. I don't think I'm the greatest of writers. I'm kind of like Stephen King, where my stories are there, but the actual writing is not good. So, and I struggle with that. And so another laziness of my filmmaking is I kind of rely on you guys to just improv it,
Well, that's why you hire us.
That's why, I got you, Mason. We all sat down. We wrote a great treatment. We've been sitting it down, and we made a trailer. We made the trailer. Yeah, it's gotten some hits, and we're gonna get more hits on it. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. It's coming straight to Quibi and
Quibi, Tubi,
Mubi, Pee-wee, and Pluto TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of reminds me like this idea of like those Christopher Guest movies.
Yeah, and those are
Rob
awesome.
Reiner with like Spinal Tap and like Waiting for
Guffman is one of my my favorite comedy of all time. And it turns out they had up to 12 hours of footage for that movie, and they chopped it into an hour and a half for that. And that's insane. Yeah. They just
look at the cast. Yeah, like Catherine O'Hara.
I know. Fred Willard was one of my favorites.
Fred Willard,
R.I.P.
Yeah, like the amount of talent that those actors have in improv is just insane.
Oh yeah.
And then they all came from like SCTV.
And that's the thing, is like you really gotta, join an improv group, which is not something. I don't even like improv, but they're really good at it. But you got to be.
A lot of comics look down, frown upon.
No, it's very widely regarded in LA. You got to be a groundling or a UCB graduate.
Yeah.
But people like me, I mean, I just don't. It's hard, and you do improv, and I applaud you for that, because I've been doing the same jokes for 5 years, so it's hard. But that's what they say. That's what people were trying to tell me, is that if you want to make it in comedy and stuff, or if you want to get on sets, you have to go to UCB. But even then, it's tough, because you pay for the classes, and then you graduate, you get one show, and then you're out.
Yeah, I mean, but it's really for the experience, because like I know they offer like at UCB. If you guys don't know what UCB is Upright Citizens Brigade, started by Amy Poehler, Matt Walsh,
Tina Fey, right?
Tina Fey. Yeah. Was it Tina Fey?
I mean, I know she does improv, but who doesn't?
Yeah, so they started this comedy improv club that turned into like a school, and I haven't taken any classes there yet. I've taken classes at Second City in Hollywood, which is no longer there, and then I did a couple classes at Groundlings, which was a lot of fun. But everyone tells me all about UCB and like the Pack Theater. So I have some money saved up that I'm gonna invest into myself and really take those classes, because I know they offer more than just improv. Like it's sketch writing, character workshops, clowning. So it's like the whole package, and I really want to just be a well-rounded.
There are clown classes. Can we talk about clown classes and what those are? Because
what are those?
I don't know. I was hoping you would know. I've heard people.
I thought you.
My friend. Well, my friend Kelsey said she got laughed out of the clown school, so that she never went back. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. It was at a specific spot here in Atwater.
I know.
And I was hoping you would. People want to be clowns, which is basically. And I didn't know that clowns and mimes are supposed to be the same. Did you know that the clowns aren't supposed to talk?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. I learned from that movie Terrifier, because it's Art the Clown. I thought he was a mime, and then I learned no, actually the OG clowns don't talk.
Didn't talk. It's all just physical comedy.
And that's the crazy part. So I don't. And more power to you, ? If you want to be a clown, clowning around. I don't personally want to, but I've always been afraid of clowns ever since people grew up with, Pennywise, and he was scary.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of improv and stuff, I was in contact with the Actors Gang, which is started by actor Tim Robbins. And it's out in Culver City, and I was in contact with them, and they're really specific with who they have audition. So I sent over my resume, and I think what caught their eye is that I took a Commedia dell'arte course, which is like a really old Italian form of improv that started during the Renaissance in Ferrara in northern Italy. And so my conservatory at the time selected me to go study it. So I was there for a week in Italy studying Commedia dell'arte. So that was on my resume. So I think that's what caught their attention at the Actors Gang. And they sent me an email. They're like, hey, congrats. We will love to have you come in and audition. But it was around the time that I was over in Northern California at our family's cabin. And I emailed them back. I was like, I'm out here. I can't be there in person. Is there any way I can come back and audition again in person? They're like, no, you just have to wait for the next cycle. So I was like, oh. But at least I got, selected, and they said, to hit them back up in like a couple months. I'm like, all right, well, I have till the end of the year to do that, because I definitely want to join them. And I really miss being on stage and doing theater. And you never did theater, did you?
They forced me to when I went to Waldorf, which I also went to Waldorf, which was an experience.
What's Waldorf?
It's a private school for hippies, but also for arts. Yeah, which might be why I like film. But they're also, at least back when I went to the branch that was up in Northern California, they hate technology. So it's kind of weird. They hate cell phones, they hate computers, and they kind of try to make you just a real hippie, which is wild. But that's kind of what pushed me to want to do filmmaking, because they push you into the arts and stuff.
Yeah.
I know my good friend John C. Reilly is a Waldorf graduate. So we had that the Pasadena Waldorf. There is one in Pasadena.
Wait, can you talk about your interaction with him?
Yeah, I got beef with John C. Reilly. It's pretty funny because I saw him at a bar.
I don't have beef with Kevin. What are you talking about?
You sound like Kermit.
Talking about? Yeah, a little bit.
You're working on it though. I'm trying to. It's hard to do impressions.
I'm shopping
I'm afraid to try him or start him. But yeah, I saw John C. Reilly at a bar, and I tried to cheers him, and he completely ignored me, which kind of hurt my feelings. And then later that same night, he saw my girlfriend from afar and was like, "Oh, hey, hello, Miss Lady," and he tipped his fedora that he was wearing, and she told me that, and I went, "Well, he wouldn't even say hi to me. That was messed up." And then his house burnt down during the fires of early January, which was scary this year, and he was going to be at Vidiot's a few months later. And I thought, okay, maybe he's been humbled. His house is gone. He's having to do his show again, Mr. Romantic, which is touring right now. He's trying to buy another house. Maybe he's, going to be nicer this time around. You and
I saw him. We went to that screening.
Yeah, so I went to Vidiot's. He was going to be there for a screening of his older movies. I showed up early. I sat in the front row, but then I went to get a drink, and he was just at the bar, just hanging out with everybody. And I went, oh, okay. So, he's not in a bad mood tonight. He's out and about. Everyone's approaching him, saying hi. All of his friends are there. And so then the movie's about to start. Everyone leaves, but I'm still at the bar. He gets a drink, and I look at him, and I go, cheers. And he just stares at me, kind of blank, kind of half smiling, not really.
Oh, and it's that guy again.
It's like, what? Does he remember me? And then that was about it. What was funny at the very end of the showing, he got up and he, of course, because I was in the front row and he was sitting right in front of me the whole time during the Q&A, and he got up and I think he kind of looked down on me, but I just looked right past him. I was like, it's okay, John, just keep walking. Like, we had that moment earlier twice now, and you don't want to be my friend, and it's fine, even though I've seen all your movies. I just thought because he's done some very niche indie movies, and he's worked with Tim and Eric, and he did Dr. Steve Brule, which is the most thing, like everyone loves him from Step Brothers, what have you, Talladega Nights, but I remember him as Dr. Cox. Yeah, and I remember him as Dr. Steve Brule because I think it's so hilarious that he would do that, but I'm just a fanboy, so he doesn't want to be friends with me. But I also think it's hilarious because everyone has a bunch of pictures with him. I met him at this bar. Everyone's story is about him being just the nicest guy ever, especially from my girlfriend. We're like, oh, hey, and he tips his fedora, but sees me and he just is not a fan of me.
So you and Mason live in Atwater. You guys were pretty close to the Altadena fire. You guys had to evacuate, right?
We did, yeah. We didn't technically have to, but we did because there was smoke in the air,
right?
And the air quality was so horrible. All the businesses were closing and everyone else was leaving anyway. So luckily my sister's boyfriend, they have family in Pomona, so we stayed out there.
Stayed with them, yeah.
And it was awesome. His mom is such a great cook, and she cooked us dinners every night. And we actually we went upstairs. We each had our own bedroom, which is perfect because I snore. So we both slept separate bed. There was a pool. It was nice little. I mean, it wasn't really a vacation. We were very stressed, especially because I heard that the fire was expanding, and I thought, oh God! But then it expanded the other direction, and was mostly just nature. And we were able to come. It was a very scary few days. The whole week was pretty brutal.
What were the two items you brought with you?
I did. Yeah, I mean, I joked and said that I only brought a shirt and my Arrested Development shirt and Point Break on DVD and some socks. I did pack. I didn't bring my birth certificate and social security card. I probably should have grabbed those.
You didn't?
No, but the thing is, I put it out there. I'm kind of a hoarder. I have a lot. You know me. I have a bunch of Blu-rays,
collectibles,
and toys, and books. But I put it out there. I said, I'm only going to grab a few things because I'm coming back. This isn't going to be here when I'm back. So I kind of put that in the universe. I was like, this place is still, I'm not going to burn down. I'm coming home. And it worked. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. We were, because I live in Burbank, so I'm not too far away from you and Mason, but
and you stayed.
Burbank kind of, we did stay, but we kind of figured because the Palisades, we could see the smoke, if you looked out our window, but it looked far enough to where we didn't have to leave. But then we started hearing that it was getting close into into the valley, in Studio City. We were like, ooh. So I packed a bag just in case. And then we had the Altadena fire to our right, which was a little closer. So we were kind of in the middle of it. And then you had the Hollywood fire broke out.
And then a bunch of them started erupting everywhere.
Yeah, the little ones. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. We just decided to stay, and sure enough, our gut feeling was right. We're like, we don't think it's gonna get close enough, and sure enough, it didn't. But our pool was filled with ashes and trash and dust, and
I know my porch was filled with John C. Reilly's house. It was terrible. It was so bad. Nice. Poor guy. Should have been nicer to me. No.
All his fedoras landed on
his whole hat collection was on my porch. Oh my god! No, I think he just has one.
Where did all my hats go?
You have to work on that. It sounds you're just doing Kermit.
No, Kermit the Frog sits a little more up here. He's a little more.
He is. Yeah, that's perfect.
John C. Reilly's a little down.
Little bit.
I'm just. It's a caricature.
Just literally just a lower Kermit. Is all it sounds like.
It really is. Yeah. If you want to sound like John C. Reilly, just sound like a lower pitched Kermit the Frog.
But yeah.
But listen, dude, it's been a fun hour getting to know you.
I'd love
before we go. Getting to know you more. I feel like we've bonded
really James
much
bonded.
more. We James bonded. Do you have any upcoming shows in the nearby?
When does this air?
In like a week.
I think none.
2 weeks.
I have none.
None.
Please book me on your shows for the love of God. I will do anything. I will do Pan Pacific Park.
But your videos on Instagram are hilarious though. You make kind of quick
follow me
sketches. Yeah. So where can we follow you?
Follow me on YouTube and Instagram. It's just going to be my name, Kevin Heisinger, and
HEI
Singer
SINGER.
Very good. And just follow me there, and I'll post any updates on any shows I have in empty dive bars or empty
and
parks.
Our movie. And
everyone's going to get a mass email about Paranormal coming to theaters next year.
That's right. Yeah, that's what was the initial title that we had?
I mean, Mace so clever. She's the one who thought of that. I just had like Paranormal Pursuits Patrol People or something. Like, I was going to call it PPPP. I had no idea. It was called Working Title Ghost Movie. That would have been funny too. Working title
Ghost Movie.
But Para Not Normal is awesome.
Para Not Normal.
Yes,
coming out soon.
It's coming at
next year. Coming at you next year.
It'll be streamed. We're gonna have a screening at a backyard in Downey.
At your sister's backyard. No, we'll keep it more central at LA. We'll do it at your sister's backyard in Pasadena.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, dude. Well, take care, and I will probably see you later.
Let's hope so. Thanks for having me.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when new episodes drop. Thanks to my guest, Kevin Heisinger. Music by Mark Fabian. Produced and engineered by Robert Altschiller. Recorded at Command Recording Studios. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kill the Small Talk Podcast and at Command_Recording_Studios. We'll see you next time. Bye.